Stop. Don't scroll past this. Pause for a moment and listen carefully, because this is not just another message appearing randomly in your day. This is for you, the one who has been asking questions in silence, the one who has been waiting for clarity but pretending you're fine without it. You didn't land here by accident. You didn't hear these words by coincidence. Something has shifted, and deep down, you already feel it, even if you can't fully explain it yet. I am speaking directly to you, because you are the one who has been searching for meaning in things that never quite satisfied you. You are the one who kept going even when you didn't understand why the path felt so heavy. And now, here you are at this exact moment, hearing these exact words, and I need you to understand this. Finally you got it. But what is it that you got? Why does this moment feel different from all the others? You've heard messages before. You felt temporary clarity before. But this feels deeper, almost like something inside you quietly clicked into place. You may not have the language for it yet. You may not even trust it fully yet. But there is a knowing rising within you that wasn't there before. That subtle shift in your spirit, that quiet awareness you can't shake, that is not your imagination. That is not coincidence. That is the beginning of something you have been moving toward for far longer than you realize. This message is for the one who almost gave up, for the one who questioned whether any of it even mattered anymore. It is for the one who kept asking, "Why am I going through this?" without ever receiving a clear answer. You've been carrying thoughts you couldn't share, emotions you couldn't explain, and a weight that no one else seemed to notice. And yet you stayed. You endured. You kept walking, even when the direction felt unclear. And now, something is different. You feel it in the way your thoughts have shifted, in the way certain things no longer affect you the same way, in the way you're starting to see patterns you once ignored. I need you to stay with me, because what you're beginning to understand right now is not small. It's not temporary. It's not something you can just brush off and return to how things used to be. No, this is the moment where everything begins to change, but only if you recognize it. Only if you don't look away. Because the truth behind "finally you got it" is deeper than you think, and if you leave too soon, you might miss the very thing you've been waiting for all this time. You've been tired in a way that sleep could never fix. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, even spiritually. There were nights when your body was still, but your thoughts refused to rest, replaying conversations, mistakes, and questions that never seemed to have answers. You kept wondering why it felt like you were putting in effort but seeing no real movement, like you were stuck in a cycle that kept repeating itself, no matter how hard you tried to break free. And what made it heavier was that no one really saw it. On the outside, you learned how to carry yourself, how to smile, how to keep going. But inside, there was a quiet pressure building, a silent weight you didn't know how to release. You've had moments where you thought you finally understood everything, where it felt like clarity had arrived, only for confusion to return stronger than before. That back and forth drained you. It made you question yourself. It made you wonder if you were overthinking, if you were missing something obvious, or worse, if you just weren't capable of getting it right. There were times you wanted to change, to step into something new, but something inside you hesitated. Fear would whisper, doubt would creep in, and suddenly the path forward didn't feel as certain anymore. So you stayed where you were, not because you wanted to, but because it felt safer than risking another disappointment. And then there were those specific moments that stayed with you. Times when you were so close to walking away from everything, when you sat alone thinking, "What's the point of all this?" Maybe it was after something didn't work out the way you hoped. or after someone let you down in a way you didn't expect. Maybe it was during a quiet moment when everything slowed down and you were left alone with your thoughts, facing truths you weren't ready to accept. You didn't always say it out loud, but deep inside, there was a part of you that felt lost, like you were moving, but not really going anywhere. And yet, even in that struggle, there was something inside you that refused to completely give up. That's what makes this moment so important. Because despite the confusion, despite the exhaustion, despite the internal conflict between wanting to move forward and wanting to stay safe, you kept going. You kept searching. You kept asking. And even when you resisted change, even when you doubted yourself, something deeper was still working within you. The tension you felt, that inner pull you couldn't explain, that was not weakness. That was the process. That was the beginning of you getting closer to something real, even if you didn't recognize it at the time. And now, something is happening even if you haven't fully recognized it yet. The shift you've been feeling is not random, and it's not small. It has already begun. The way you're starting to see things differently. The way certain patterns are becoming clearer to you. The way your reactions are slowly changing. That is evidence that something deeper is moving within you. But here is what you must understand. This moment is fragile. Not because it is weak, but because it requires your attention. If you ignore it, if you brush it off like every other passing thought, you risk falling back into the same cycle that once kept you stuck. You've been here before, standing on the edge of clarity, sensing that something is about to make sense, only to turn away too soon. That is why this moment matters more than you realize. Because this time, it's not just a feeling. This time, something has aligned in a way it hasn't before. You are not the same person you were when you first started this journey, even if parts of your life still look the same on the surface. Something inside you has matured, has sharpened, has awakened. And because of that, what you are about to understand carries more weight than anything you've encountered before. But listen carefully. This is not the time to become distracted. This is not the moment to doubt yourself again or to minimize what you're experiencing. There is a reason you are hearing this right now, a reason this message is finding you at this exact point in your life. You are being drawn into something that requires your full awareness. If you step away too soon, you may miss the very insight that has been forming within you through every struggle, every delay, every unanswered question. There is also something you haven't considered yet. What happens if you ignore this? What happens if you return to old patterns, old ways of thinking, old habits that kept you from seeing clearly? The cost is not just confusion, it's repetition. It's going in circles again, facing the same frustrations, asking the same questions, feeling the same emptiness you thought you had already outgrown. And deep down, you know you don't want that. You know you're tired of starting over. So stay here. Stay present in this moment. Because finally you got it is not just a statement, it's a threshold. It's the line between who you used to be and who you are becoming. And right now, you are standing on that line. What you do next will determine whether you step forward into clarity or slip back into everything you've been trying to leave behind. Don't look away now. The truth is closer than it has ever been. Now listen closely, because this is where everything changes. The reason you feel different, the reason something inside you has finally settled is because you have crossed a line you didn't even realize you were approaching. All the confusion, all the waiting, all the moments where you felt like nothing was happening, they were never empty. They were never wasted. You were being shaped in ways you could not see at the time. Every delay carried a lesson. Every disappointment carried a redirection. Every silent moment carried an answer that was forming within you. even when you thought you were being ignored. You kept asking for clarity, but what you didn't realize was that clarity was not something I was going to hand to you all at once. It had to grow in you. It had to become part of how you think, how you see, how you respond. That is why things didn't make sense before. You were trying to understand from a place that was not ready yet. But now something has shifted. Now you are seeing things without forcing them. Now you are recognizing patterns without confusion. Now you are feeling a peace that doesn't come from external answers, but from an internal alignment that wasn't there before. This is what it means when I say, finally you got it. It is not about a single idea or a single moment. It is about the transformation that has taken place within you. You are no longer chasing the same things in the same way. You are no longer reacting from the same fears. The things that once controlled your thoughts are losing their hold on you. And even if your external situation has not fully changed yet, you have. And that change is everything. What you once called delay was actually preparation. What you once called silence was actually instruction. What you once called confusion was the breaking down of old ways of thinking that could not carry you into what is next. You were being pulled away from patterns that no longer served you, even when it felt uncomfortable, even when it felt like loss. And now, you are standing in a place where you can finally see it. Not perfectly, not completely, but enough to know that you are not where you used to be. And because of this, your future will not unfold the same way it would have before. You are stepping into a new way of moving, a new way of deciding, a new way of understanding. You will begin to notice that things that once confused you will now feel clear. Decisions that once felt heavy will now feel lighter. You will start recognizing what aligns with you and what does not, without second-guessing yourself the way you used to. This is your shift. This is your turning point. You are no longer the version of yourself who was lost in the process. You are the one who has come through it. You are the one who understands now. And from this place, everything ahead of you begins to change. Now this is where you respond. Not later, not when it feels more convenient, but now, because this moment was not sent to you by accident. You've heard the words, you've felt the shift, and deep inside, you already know what finally you got it truly means. It means you understand that your life is not random. It means you see that your struggles were not punishment, but preparation. It means you recognize that you are no longer the same person who once doubted every step. And because you got it, you cannot go back to being who you used to be. So I want you to do something simple, but powerful. Acknowledge this moment. Claim it. Let it become real through your action. When you respond, when you affirm what you have received, you are not just reacting. You are stepping fully into the identity you have been growing into all along. This message found you because you are the one who was ready to hear it. Not everyone would understand this. Not everyone would feel this. What you did. And that is how you know it was meant for you. Remember how this began. You were told to stop, to listen, to pay attention. And now you see why. Because something has changed within you. You are no longer searching the same way. You are no longer questioning the same things. You have crossed into a new level of awareness, and from here, your path will not look the same. People like you, those who truly receive, those who truly understand, they do not ignore moments like this. They move differently. They walk with clarity. They act with intention. And as you step into this, I am calling you to do more than just receive. I am calling you to become a vessel through which this message reaches others who are still where you once were. This is where your action becomes part of something greater. As it is written, give, and it will be given to you, a good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. This is not just a verse. It is a living truth speaking directly to you now. When you give, you are not losing. You are multiplying what flows through your life. I am placing this on your heart for a reason. If this message has touched you, if it has awakened something real within you, then this is your moment to act. Through Super Thanks or through the PayPal donation link in the description, and even through the QR code placed before you, you are sowing into something that carries light to those still searching in the dark. Say it within yourself now. I am ready to be used for something greater. Let that be your bridge from receiving to giving. Do not hesitate. Move as the one who understands. And as you give, know this: you are planting seeds that will return to you in ways you cannot yet imagine. Step forward now. Act on what you have received.